What is going on, my fellow Masketeers? We are back with another episode of The Mask, and we're here to talk about Netflix's Captain Laserhawk, our Blood Dragon remix based on the Far Cry game created by Ubisoft. Now, I've never played the game, so I kind of went in there with no expectations, and I will say this thing, it's not all that. It's not all that. I think visually it's a really good show. I think the animation was spot on. I think the fight sequences good. There was some elements which I really liked. In certain sections in the show, it kind of went into like a 2D scroller. So it gave you the old 80s feel of a video game, which again, they implemented it at key parts which lend itself to a very unique take, and I feel in that aspect Captain Laserhawk stood out. But when it came to storyline, no. To be honest with you, Captain Laserhawk is a ripoff of Space Cobra. If you're an anime fan, you know exactly who Space Cobra is. Space Cobra is literally a vigilante who has got a laser arm. It's a normal hand that then turns into a laser gun. Guess what? Laserhawk has got the exact same thing, a laser gun. He is a vigilante / terrorist that has a cybernetic arm and it turns into a gun, just like Space Cobra. Now, the reason for me why I feel like this show wasn't really that good, the characters, not really that compelling, the storyline was very basic, and I feel like it was pulling elements from other source materials that did it better. Like I said, Space Cobra was one, another was Cyberpunk, and another was the Suicide Squad, because they've taken the plot of the Suicide Squad in terms of where they have captured Laserhawk and a few other individuals, and then they are part of a quote-unquote dark task force, which is being controlled by the Warden, again, another character that is very poorly written, but whatever. And she has implemented bombs in their heads. Why has she quote-unquote taken these people? I understood why you had two people, one being Laserhawk, the other being Bullfrog. We're going to talk about Bullfrog in a second. Let me just finish this. The rest of them, they were an absolute waste. There was no reason for them to be there. They were just there just to die, essentially. And again, very pointless. And even when it came down to the relationships, so superficial. The Warden has basically given them the mission of they have to go and get a weapon that can essentially tear holes in reality. They do not want that to fall into the wrong hands. It just so happens that one of the city's biggest underworld gangsters happens to have the weapon. Oh, look who's working with this gangster. It's Laserhawk's ex-boyfriend, the one who betrayed him, almost killed him. That was that. But like I said, it pulls together different elements from other franchises that did it better and just kind of did a poorer job at it. Let me go into these characters. And when I say these characters, I'm only going to talk about two because they're the only two that matter. The best character in this whole thing was Bullfrog. But Bullfrog is a weird one. The reason being is because Bullfrog is a frog-human hybrid that is, wait for it, a part of the Assassin's Guild. That's right, the Assassin's Guild from Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed franchise. And he's French. Yo, when I saw that, I was thinking to myself, what the hell is going on here? Like I said, he's the best character only because he's so unique and he's so funny. He doesn't mean to be. He has his moments and he is the real heart of this whole series. I tell you, he is literally a 3-foot frog human hybrid that is wearing the Assassin's Creed outfit, and it is hilarious. Now, with that being said, when push comes to shove, Bullfrog gets busy. Make no mistake, he is really with the shits. So I have to give it to him. And he was the best part of this entire series, if I'm being honest with you. To the main guy, Dolph Laserhawk, the protagonist. Waste. I have never seen a character written so inconsistently in such a long time. From his abilities to his personality to his motivations, everything, again, he just changes with the wind. And there's something which I found very interesting because there's an episode where he becomes, in a sense, animated by pixels. It's a real actor playing him. And the actor that they got to play him, his personality was so drastically different to how he's been portrayed portrayed when he's animated that it was watching two complete different characters. His mannerisms, the way he spoke, even the way he looked at situations was so different. And I thought to myself, did they only pick this actor because he's the closest thing that they could get to somebody that would kind of look like Laserhawk in live action? I was so confused. He really didn't. He honestly didn't. The only thing that was there was the hair. Apart from that, the build was wrong, the personality was wrong, the voice was wrong, just everything was off. I didn't like it one bit. And again, he is a very shallow character. His motivations are weak at best. It first starts off with revenge and then somehow it turns into a whole, I gotta go save my friends. Bro, these are not your friends. Like, you haven't built up a rapport with these people to where it makes sense. And that for me was, again, just another reason why I've seen this done, but I've seen it done better on other shows and other franchises. So by the time it got to the end, I was just like, wrap this up. Just wrap this up. They also had like the fake Power Rangers, which again, they're mostly used for comic effect, but I like them because comical take on the Power Rangers, and it kind of shows how ridiculous they would be in real life. So that was kind of cool. And the Red Ranger is just an absolute piece of shit. So that's a little bit of a bonus. The big twist at the end, again, it wasn't even a big twist because you could see it coming a mile away. And that goes back to my earlier statement where I said that this was done by other movies so much better, where when it happened here, there was nothing to it. It didn't hold any weight. You weren't even surprised. And at one point, you're just thinking to yourself, these characters are stupid because there's no way you should even trust this person. There is nothing that they've done that has shown in any sense that they can be trusted. It is what it is. The twist comes, wasn't surprised, and they did it in such a way to where it's a setup for season 2. God, no, I don't want a season 2. I really hope that this just becomes one season. Leave it be. I don't want to get season 2 of this. I'm sorry. It just wasn't for me. I don't feel that it did anything and it didn't really add to anything. So they should just leave it one season and keep it at that. Honorary mention, Rayman is in the series. Remember him from back in the day? Yeah. Your lovable Rayman was just a weird floating head and limb creature. Yeah. Now he's in New Eden as an anchorman, the face, as you would say, and he's pushing out propaganda. And oh yeah, he's a druggie and an alcoholic. And then at one point, he has a change of heart and then he becomes Ramon. I'm not even joking. He becomes Ramon. Yo, at that point, I was just like, you know what? Wrap this all up. Wrap this show up. We are done here. We are done. And again, the problem with this show was they tried to add and implement too many things, too many plot points, which went nowhere, by the way. I won't ruin it for you. So much gets introduced and it goes nowhere. So much gets started and it goes nowhere. It's meant to be a critique on society, racism, the whole notion of capitalism and how we've been given the illusion of freedom, but at the same time, there's more restrictions than ever. You can only move according to what the system generates and deems as acceptable. All those elements that we've seen before, they try to do it here. But again, they start something and it goes nowhere. That's the problem with this show. It has no heart. It's got a vibe, but the vibe isn't strong enough to carry through the whole season or the whole series. That was my opinion. So Laserhawk, I'm gonna give you a 5 out of 10. Outside of the visual aspect, there wasn't much to the show at all. I can't lie and say I really enjoyed myself. I just watched it and thought to myself, I'll forget this like in a day or two. That's my rating. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Please let me know if you've watched the show. If you haven't, are you going to watch it? Sound off in the comments below. And like always, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you at the next masquerade. Peace.